Okay, so now that we've discussed the folders and the search history, I do want to talk about searching for a particular publication within the NCU library, because doing this search in Roadrunner is probably what you will be doing, 95% of the time. You want to retrieve articles from various different resources on your particular topic. However, there may be times when you want to find a specific journal, magazine, newspaper, newsletter, ebook, etc. And the way that you do that is by using the Find a Resource tool. Find a Resource is located centrally in the middle of the library's homepage next to the Roadrunner search, or you can also get to it from the Research Resources drop-down menu. You can go to Find a Resource. This page is a little bit more expansive, but it does do the same function as this search box here. So just as an example, let's say we were interested in accessing the Journal of Organizational Behavior. We would not have any idea where to access it within the library unless we use this Find a Resource tool. I'm going to just type in Journal of Organizational Behavior and press search. Our results screen will tell us if we have access to that resource, and if so, in which years and in which database. It's also going to let us know if that particular journal is peer-reviewed. So in many cases, you can also use the Find a Resource tool to determine if something is peer-reviewed. However, that's not always the case. You see the next journal title down, it does not give any indication. So you'll always want to double check using the Ulrich's Web tool. So the Journal of Organizational Behavior is available in a number of databases, and you'll just want to take note of the date ranges. The biggest range is 1997 to present, and that's in Wiley-Blackwell Social Science and Humanities collection. So I'm going to click on that database, Wiley, in order to access the Journal of Organizational Behavior. So depending on the publisher of the database, each individual journal homepage is going to look different. However, in all cases, you should have a way to search within the journal and also browse by particular issues. On the left-hand side of the screen, we could click on All Issues to get all of the issues dating back to 1997 in full text. Or like I said, we could conduct a search here on the right-hand side. So if we were interested in employee engagement, maybe, we could type that in and press search. Okay, now we have 78 results for employee engagement within this specific journal. So this could be a good technique once you have settled on your topic. If you've identified a journal that has lots of articles on your topic, it may benefit you to also search within that journal, again, for that topic. It's a good way of finding similar results. Okay, so now that we've seen how to effectively conduct searches using the library's Roadrunner search, we've seen how to look for a publication, a specific publication. Now let's talk about finding dissertations within the NCU library, because dissertations are going to be extremely helpful for you, especially if you are a doctoral student, because looking at other dissertations will help you to see other students' literature reviews, what research methodology they used, what test instruments they've used, and also to get additional research. So by looking at those references lists, that can really increase your references as well. So I'm going to go to the Research Resources drop-down menu and click on Dissertation Resources. From the Dissertation Resources page, I want to go to ProQuest Dissertations and Theses Global, because this actually has over 2.1 million dissertations in full text from all over the world. You do have the ability to limit this search to just NCU dissertations using the database above, but we're going to go into the global database. Okay, I'm going to click on the advanced search here. And then if we were going to stick with our original search topic, let's say I'm interested in employee engagement, and I'm also interested in job satisfaction. I'm looking for those as exact phrases, the search technique that we learned today, and I'm just going to go ahead and press search. Once we get our search results, we also have a way to limit these just to doctoral dissertations. Right now, our results include both doctoral and master's theses. But if we just wanted doctoral dissertations, we could go ahead and click on that. And then we have to press the search button. Okay, so now we have our almost 3,000 results for doctoral dissertations. If I wanted to, I could sort by the most recent first to see what the latest dissertation was, or I can just start scrolling down to see what dissertations look particularly appropriate for me. Once I see one, I can click on the title to get into the full text, or I prefer to click on the abstract and details just so I can find out a little bit more about that dissertation before looking at the full text. I also really love the references tab here because let's say you're just looking for additional sources on this topic. You don't even have to go into the student's dissertation. You can just click on the references tab and then you will see all of the references that that particular student used. Within that references tab, if we have access to the full text, you will see the full text access there, or you may see the article linker. The article linker will check the rest of the library to see if that article is available. So let's give that a try. You'll also see the article linker within the Roadrunner search results, which was something that we didn't actually talk about. If you do see that article linker, you'll get one of two options. It will link out to the full text article, as we did in this case, or if you do not link out to the full text within a Roadrunner search or within another library database, please keep in mind that you can always request that material through interlibrary loan. And we also have a full-length interlibrary loan and alternatives workshop if you are interested in that. Okay, so we've seen how to search using the library's Roadrunner search. We've seen how to locate dissertations. We've seen how to locate a particular publication. And we talked briefly about your folders and your search history in Roadrunner. That basically concludes our workshop today. There are a couple of additional resources that were mentioned during the presentation in your workshop outline. So you can always access them there, but I do highly recommend going to the Learn the Library page in order to access all of the workshop recordings and quick tutorial videos. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to stay on the call and chat with you. I can certainly unmute you if you would like to ask any questions on microphone. If you don't have any questions, definitely feel free to take off for the night. I'm so happy that you could join me today, and I definitely hope to see you in future workshops.